As we've been studying Yehovah's instructions from the Torah, we most definitely viewing the most fair, the most just, the most wise ways of ruling a kingdom. I've always asked Yehovah to open my eyes to his Torahs, to his instructions, because they are a blessing to my soul. It might seem a little weird, a little awkward because we're in the 21st century, but his word is the same. It does not change. We must know how to rightly divide the word of truth in this century. Welcome to Reconcile, the kingdom we're working towards becoming a harmony of the whole word of truth. My name is Patrice Robinson, and I appreciate you coming by on today. We are going to go over the significant events of Leviticus chapters 22 through 24. Chapter 22. Yehovah speaks to Moses about teaching the priests on how to respect his offerings that the people are bringing to them to offer. Teaching the priests how to present themselves as being holy. Understanding that an animal that dies or killed by another animal is an unclean animal and they are unable to eat it. Eating the offerings and who can and who cannot eat the holy offerings. He goes into additional details about animals to be offered and offerings for the whole burnt offering, fellowship, thanks, and free will offerings. Again, he repeats keeping and guarding his commandments. Chapter 23. If you want to know a list of majority of Yehovah's appointed times, chapter 23 will be your home based. He lets us know the feast and their dates. So we have our weekly feast, which is the Sabbath every Saturday. Then we have the 7 annual feasts. We have Passover to unleavened bread. Remember, Passover is a meal. First fruits, Feast of Weeks, Pentecostal, Feast of Pentecostal, Feast of Trumpets, Day of Atonement, Feast of Shelters, Feast of Tabernacles. You know, there's different names for them, but he goes over the feast name and their dates in chapter 23. Chapter 24. 24, here we're given information about the oil in the lamp, the menorah, how it is continually to be burned continuously without going out. We're also given instructions about the table of showbread. Now, the table of showbread has to continuously have 12 loaves of bread on the table, and it is replaced every Sabbath day by the priest. We also find a interesting story mixed in there about the Israelite woman's son who blasphemes the Lord, Yehovah, and curses him. It didn't go well for him. He ended up stoned by the community. Today's focus is Yehovah's appointed time. We covered all 7 of the Yehovah feasts and Moedims in chapter 23, and we missing the monthly feast out of chapter 23. That's not in there, but we do have the monthly new moon feast. It's not in that chapter though. We should be rehearsing and practicing the Sabbath as the best way that we can in this 21st century. I know there are 3 feasts that we supposed to go up to Jerusalem to the temple, and the temple is not here. So what we have to do is put in practice of what we can do. And this is not the first time that there was no temple for people to go up to, because remember, the temple has been destroyed several times and the people Yehovah has been in exile. So you still supposed to live your best life, although there is no temple and things may not be going the way that you wanted to go because you're not in Israel. If you know, the feast was not just about a party time, it's about Yehovah's calendar too. And most of all, it is about shadow things of Yeshua. To keep the feast is to remember Yeshua and what he has done for us without the roots of paganism in it. To keep the feast is something that Yehovah pointed out, Yehovah designed, Yehovah have created for his people to do. Like Paul wrote in Colossians chapter 2 verses 16 through 17, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or respect of holy day or a new moon or of the Sabbath days, which are shadow all things to come, but the body is of Messiah. Paul just reiterated what Yehovah's been speaking about in the Torah. Join me as we continue our journey through What Does the Bible Say with the book of Esther every Friday and Saturday for the next few weeks, I believe until March at 10 a.m. And then I will see you next week when we go through Leviticus chapters 25 through 27. As always, man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yehovah. Have a blessed rest of the week, and thank you.